Hello. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my brain. So the reason I'm doing this is because I get asked, like, I don't know, say every day, every other day, I'll get asked a question that will link to the fact that I have a brain injury. And if you didn't know that, that's what I'm going to delve into basically. So as I like to quote, let's start at the very beginning because it's a very good place to start. I will explain like what happened for me to end up with a brain injury. I'll try and be as thorough as possible, but because I have a brain injury, I have a tendency to forget things. So there you go, I might forget things, I might have to go back to stuff. We'll see how it pans out. So I was 15, so it was November the 27th, 2009. 2009, 10 years ago. So it was November the 27th, 2009, and me and my boyfriend at the time were going up to a party, and we get off the bus and we walk up the road, and there's this really bad bend, and like, because it was dark at the time, being November, so like when you try and cross because of the bend, like you can't see cars coming around the corner and they really can't see you. So I looked and looked again, listened out, couldn't hear anything, so I went across, and that's the last thing I remember, was thinking I can't hear or see anything, so I'm going across. And then I remember like feeling I was asleep. So I remember feeling like I was asleep and that I was just cozy and I didn't want to wake up. So I was like telling myself like, it's okay, just get into a nice deep sleep, get all cozy and everything. So I was telling myself this, but then there was a voice telling me like, you need to get up. Like at the time of me being in school and stuff, it was like, you know, like when your mum tells you to wake up and go to school and you're like, no, I just want to stay in bed, and your mum's like, no, get up, and you know you need to get up even though you don't want to. It felt like that situation. I wanted to snuggle down and sleep, but something was telling me I needed to get up, so I just got up. I don't know who or what was telling me to get up, but I ended up getting up. And for that time that I was down, that's where the lack of oxygen to the brain came from. And when I got up, I ran to the side of the road to my boyfriend, and then realised, like, when I was running, I felt sick, you know, like that like dizzy, hungover, sick, drunk feeling. I don't know how else to explain it. I felt that, and then I looked back into the road and realised that my phone and my glasses were in the middle of the road. So I ran back out, almost got hit by a bus, and then went and collected them. My glasses were a mess. But I didn't realise, like, it didn't feel like I'd been hit. It didn't feel like I'd been hit by a car. And there was this man stood next to me, and his wife was sat in the car crying. And he was saying like, let me take you to the hospital. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. And he's like, no, you're not. And the car body was dented, and I was just like, no, I'm fine. I'm just gonna go over the road and go party. So I crossed the road, messaging my friends like, just got hit by a car. And then I remember my friends helping me up to my friend's apartment. And then when we got in there, a couple of my friends were like ringing me like, go to the hospital, you might have internal bleeding, like famous last words. And I was like, no, I'm fine, I ain't got internal bleeding, I'll be fine. But I didn't need a wee, so I went to the toilet. And as I was in the toilet, I started feeling aches, like my neck hurt. I found scrapes down my elbows. And then my head just started pounding. It was just a headache. It's fine. My bum hurt. And then as I'm in the toilet, I saw this huge, it was about this big, this huge bruise on the side of my right knee. And it was black and purple and blue. And then all down the insides of my legs, they were all dotted with blue and black and purple, and my feet were as well. And I was like, it wasn't that bad. I'm like, I didn't feel it. I don't remember actually being hit by the car. I remember before it and after it. So that night I was in pain, trying to get to sleep because of my head. And that weekend I was in pain, but I was just, trying, take paracetamol, you'll be fine kind of thing. Triple science Monday morning, and I love triple science Monday morning. So I'm sat there, and the pain was just, I couldn't concentrate. The pain was just overpowering, and my friends helped me down to the nurse, and the nurse called my mum to take me to A&E. And A&E was just like, oh, you're fine, you've just got a headache because you've been hit by a car, but you're fine. I went back into school, and no one in school, well, like hardly anyone, believed that I got hit by a car because I was in school. And everyone's like, no, you'd be in hospital, and I'm like, well, clearly not, I'm here. So no one actually believed that it happened, even though, proof. And I had this headache for a year, and we went to a doctor about it, and a doctor was saying, oh, it's just a stress headache because you're doing exams. So I was like, it's not, but whatever. I got a new doctor after my exams, and this doctor referred me to a neurologist, and I had loads of tests done, and my neurologist said that I had a bleed on the brain. So I did have internal bleeding, so sorry about that. But the bleed healed itself, and I don't know how or why, but I had a bleed on the brain, but then it healed. But as a result of that, I have a scar here, and he said that every so often I get these from the scar, like these sparks jump across my head, and as a result of that, I have epilepsy. I have a stupid memory. I have weird mood, and I have epilepsy, focal. I have physical. So that's my result of having a brain injury, but I much prefer having like lasting effects of epilepsy rather than having a bleed on the brain. So I see myself as being lucky. But from having epilepsy, I had to start on these tablets, and they disagreed with me and brought out muscle spasms or vocal spasms, or in other words, tics. So my brain, along with epilepsy tablets, bring out tics. And most of the time you'll not realise because it just sounds like I'm hiccuping or sneezing or that I'm just moving my arm or something, but it's muscle spasm because of my brain and a mix of the tablets. But after having a seizure, I get the after effects of having a stroke. So it's so embarrassing in public because, like, I have the dizziness and then I'm like holding on to stuff because I'm feeling weak and sick, but it's really hard to explain. But people look at me and think that I'm drunk when I'm not drunk for years. And it's so embarrassing, the looks that you get given because of it. It's all fun and games. So because of say epilepsy, I'm not allowed to drive. And don't give me the whole, oh, you'll get over it, because people have said that, like, I used to have epilepsy, but I got over it, you can. I've had that, but talking to my neurologist, and he said because I have a scar on my brain, I will not recover. End of. I have asked him this. So because I'm not allowed to drive, I have a pass, and I recently got given this. Oh my god, that's terrible. That's worse than that one. So I recently got given this, which is my brain injury identity card. I think it's backwards, but here you go. By Headway. So it says, my name is Harper-Liversidge, I have a brain injury, and as a result I may have anxiety, I may have mobility difficulties, I can be aggressive, and I may use inappropriate language. Now with my vocal muscle spasms, I used to use inappropriate language. It makes my OCD, the anxiety that I stated, and with it all being part of my brain, I can get aggressive, and I have mobility difficulties as it is with having EDS and then with spasms. So yep, all fun and games. So let me try and show you this without me. So this is what my brain injury card looks like. But as I said, you just taking tablets and having cards to get about because you have a brain injury is embarrassing, because people judge you so much, and especially when people just don't get it. And some people just don't want to get it. So it is a problem, obviously, and especially having a seizure, it's horrendous. But people around me know how to care for it, but I hate being in public on my own because I just have a feeling like I'm going to be judged for having a stroke after effects or for having a seizure, and the amount of people who have like judged me for it in the past, and it's disgusting feeling like, okay, I already got injured and I'm still injured and I still have to suffer, and you're making it worse. You just don't want to understand. But on the other side, I see it as a positive. It's made me look at life like how easily my life could have ended, which my neurologist has stated, and it could have ended then. It could have ended whilst, like, over that next year, whilst I was suffering with the bleed on the brain. It could have ended at any point, but it didn't, and I'm still here, and I'm thankful for the fact that I managed to get myself up off the floor and carry on. I carried on going to school every single day, even though, you know, I was recovering from a bleed on the brain. Still managed to go and get 13.5 ATC GCSEs because I wanted to carry on, and I wasn't just going to give up, and I want to carry on having that positive outlook. But at the same time, I like to see it in a funny way as well. I'm in a family that we always laugh at things. So I forget words a lot when I know there's so obvious words and I forget them, and that's funny sometimes. And we just, you know, try and make light of situations. So I try and be positive, but this thing sometimes it just tries to pull you down. So this is what I've been suffering with for almost 10 years, and as a result of my epilepsy as well. I don't know if you can see at the moment. Oh my god, I have marks. Okay, so not like you can tell, but okay, you can kind of see. I have photosensitive epilepsy as well, so my eyes, as well as my skin, by the way, are intolerant to light. We hate the light. And there's like a lot of pictures where I'm like squinting or look tired and stuff, but that's because of the light. And the amount of times people say or message me, or the amount of times someone even randomly will just come up to me and say, "Are you alright? You look tired." And I'm just like, this will turn into a long conversation. It's the light, and people just put some sunglasses on. I'm like, I need to wear sunglasses like a lot of the time, even when it's like winter. But yeah, again, that's still embarrassing. The amount of times people like have to state the fact that, oh, your eyes look a bit funny today, and I'm like, yeah, I have epilepsy. What are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna help me? Are you going to do something to help me recover? Because my neurologist has helped. He has tried, and I'm the best I can be at the moment. I don't know if things will get better, but I hope they don't get worse. But here is just basically an insight to what I've lived with for the past. Here's just an insight to what I have lived with for the past 9 years, and obviously we'll carry on doing so. And just don't take anything for granted, because I thought I was going to a party. Granted, I did go afterwards because I'm stubborn, but you need to be stubborn in this way, and you need to do things for yourself. You need to force yourself to carry on, be positive, be stubborn, and you'll get yourself to a point that you're happy with yourself, hopefully. So thank you for watching my long, maybe boring video, but on the other side, if you do have any questions about this, do feel free to ask me, like personal message me about things. I'm an open person. Just because I've not put anything up like this before doesn't mean I'm not an open person. Just like I get so many questions about it, I thought I'd address it as a video so people can just go back to it. So I hope this has helped you understand a bit more about anything that I've mentioned, and as I say, if you have questions, just message me. Thank you for watching. Bye.